What's going on, guys? Love Smash, back with an all new video for you guys today, and in today's video I wanted to finally do the breakdown of the character silhouettes for Street Fighter V and talk about which characters could be coming on the way as DLC. Now, sorry for taking so long for this video, but I've been very busy as of late. This video, along with many other ones for other games I've been trying to get out, but I haven't had a whole lot of free time lately, so sorry for the inconvenience. But a lot of you guys were messaging me, asking me when I was going to put this video out, and today is the day. But before we get into that, I want to talk about some other stuff as well. The first one being the big one, Street Fighter V is launching on February 16th. Not only that, we are getting these 6 DLC characters, and a few days ago, with the biggest news to come out, I already did a video about it if you guys have not seen it, there was a PC beta hack where we may already know the identity of these 6 characters. Now, it's not officially confirmed, but there have been instances in the past, most recently with like Super Smash Bros. For 3DS, where a couple months ago, somebody hacked the recent update and was able to find out that Roy and Ryu were coming as DLC, and then eventually they came. So there have been instances where stuff like this has come true, and the claim was that these characters are indeed playable and not background characters because the amount of polygons each of the 3D models possesses. So it's very interesting if these characters do end up being playable at some point, although it's not officially confirmed. But by looking at the character silhouettes here, you can kind of look at them and say, you know what, maybe these really do fit in, because a lot of the silhouettes do resemble the 6 characters that were on that beta hack. So first I'm going to do my predictions of that and do which characters I think they are. And then after that, talk about 10 characters who I think have the best shot to be included in later waves of DLC for Street Fighter V, meaning maybe in 2017 or 18 they can get released, because I'm sure there's going to be more waves of characters than just a total of 22. And they kind of did hint at that as well. But first up, if you look at the first silhouette, at first glance, I really did believe this was Alex. I thought that could have been top of his head with his long hair, and that was like a bandana cutting it off. But the more I looked at it with the stance and everything else with the spikes on the top and on the forehead of the hair, this did really remind me of Balrog. As you can see, Balrog has those spikes, that's his trademark hairstyle, as many Street Fighter characters do, and I wanted to point that out as well while I'm on the subject of that. There are many Street Fighter characters that possess like very, how should I put this, like infamous hairstyles, where like Guile has a flat top, Balrog has the spikes on the end of his forehead, Juri has the hair buns, Ibuki has her long strands of hair coming out the top. So if you would show those in the silhouettes, it would automatically give the character away. So obviously they're not going to do that, they want to keep them a mystery, and also you got to keep in mind that characters are getting redesigned, so they could look different than their original appearance that we've known all these years. As we see Nash, Ken, Dhalsim, they all look very different than what their original appearances were. But anyway, I'm getting off track. But the first one I do believe is Balrog. Now, the thing that threw me off was kind of like these hair, like the mutton chop sideburns that it looks like. But like I said, that could easily be a redesign for the character. But I do think the stance, it kind of looks like he's jabbing as well in the photograph. So I do believe that is possibly Balrog. Now, moving on to the next one, a lot of fans were thinking this could be Dudley or somebody else, but to me, I really do think this is Guile. Now, of course, you can kind of make out a vest there, but it could just be a redesign, like I said. A lot of people are saying that could be a rose there. You see that symbol? But I do believe this is some kind of military badge. At first glance, I thought it could have been like an eagle or something like that, but it's so difficult to really tell because the image is so dark. You really can't make that out, but I do believe this is Guile based on his stance. It resembles his classic stance that he's always had, with his hands up, and you can kind of make out like his arm going upward. So I do believe that is Guile, and it would fit in, of course, Nash being in the game, it would go hand in hand as well. Now, as for the third one, this is very difficult to make out because a lot of fans are thinking this could either be Urien or Gil. Based on the crest, it looks very similar to the Illuminati symbol, which it could be Urien. I mean, there's been that whole Silicon Era rumor that's been going around for months, even though a lot of people seem to like just brush it off now because Alex and Urien were not part of the core roster. However, the rumor did not state whether or not Alex, Urien, Corinne, and Armika would all be part of the core roster or DLC. It just stated they were going to be in the game. So it could still be true. Now, I do believe this could more likely be Urien than Gil, and maybe he's wearing some kind of hood. I mean, we've seen Urien, his normal design, where he's just wearing like underwear, and he's also been seen wearing a suit as well, but he could be wearing some kind of like cloak hood now. That could be a new redesign, or it could just be a new character relating to the Illuminati in some way. But I do think the Illuminati is going to play a role in the game story, because as we see with Nash, it seems like he is part of the Illuminati, or at least connected to it in some way. Now moving on to the fourth character. Now this has been debatable among the fans, but to me, I am hoping, and I think this could be Ibuki. And if Ibuki's in this game, holy crap, I am hyped. She was one of my top 3 favorite characters, along with Guile and Blanca. Now, by looking at the silhouette, nothing's really jumping out saying this is definitely her, but there's 2 things I managed to spot which could lead to being her. Now, first up, you'll notice in the silhouette, it seems to be a thick wrist, so I was thinking maybe that is her wrist armor that she always wears. and at the top you could see what resembles a strand of hair, and as you see from Ibuki, she has those 3 strands of hair that come out the top, so I'm thinking maybe that could be her. Although this is just speculation, it could also be Juri, which other fans have been saying. Not to mention, Juri also has wrist armor with long sleeves, and she has strands of hair, but they come out the side of her head, so it could be her as well, but I think this one is more likely Ibuki, and the next one, the 5th character silhouette, is most likely Juri. Now, fans have been coming up with things saying like, well, there's a zipper showing, and that could lead to it being Juri, or other things saying like, well, the strands of hair could be showing. I don't know, I've been seeing a bunch of different theories, but the reason I think it's Juri is because I think it's more of a back view of her. You know, Juri has a very athletic build and a very flat stomach. It's very curvy on the back as well, so I do believe that is a back view of her. Now, yet again, just merely speculation on my part, but Juri is no doubt a very popular character. She's been since her inclusion in Super Street Fighter 4, so I do think she will be DLC at some point if that's really not her in the silhouette, but I do think that's her. That's just my gut feeling. Now moving on to the 6th and final silhouette, I gotta go with my man Alex here. I know a lot of people seem to think Alex is deconfirmed because he appears in the background stage of the New York stage, but there have been instances where characters do appear in the background of stages and are still playable. For example, the small airfield stage in Street Fighter 4, both Bison, Vega, and Balrog all appeared in the background, but it didn't stop them from being playable. So I do think Alex will be DLC, and I believe this is him, or at least I am hoping this is him. But those are just my 6 predictions with the character silhouettes. You guys may think something differently. Be sure to tell me in the comments who you guys think are behind the silhouettes. But with all the info that came out of the whole hack with the beta and these 6 silhouettes, everything seems to line up perfectly, and those are my predictions. So now with all that out of the way, I wanted to discuss additional DLC. Now, 16 characters on the core roster, along with 6 being added next year's DLC, isn't a bad start to the game. But if you look at Ultra Street Fighter 4's roster, that had a grand total of over 40, so I can't imagine they would stop at only 22. So I'm guessing there will be other waves added over time. Maybe in 2017 and 2018, or possibly even 2019, we could expect an additional 6 waves of characters for each year. Maybe we could see 4 or 5 classic characters along with 1 or 2 newcomers in each wave, because I really doubt there's only going to be 4 newcomers in this game. I'm sure they have ideas for other ones as well that could be added, and as you can see, a lot of classic and fan favorite characters are missing from the roster as well. Now, like I said, this is merely speculation and it has not been officially confirmed, but I think it is very likely we'll see additional DLC added at some point. So I thought it'd be a good idea to talk about the top 10 characters who I think we can end up seeing at that point. So without further ado, let's dive in. Now, the first character is an obvious choice with Akuma. And many fans say, how could you have a Street Fighter game without Akuma? No doubt a classic and a fan favorite character. Fans will riot if Akuma is not in this game, so I think he's pretty much a guarantee. If we do get additional DLC, he's going to be right up there on the next wave coming. Now on to my second pick is Blanka. No doubt a classic character, a fan favorite as well, even though a lot of people actually seem to dislike him, but you gotta remember, he is Yoshinori Ono's favorite character, so you gotta figure he's most likely gonna be added, and he better because he's also my favorite character, so I definitely think we'll see Blanka added as well. Moving on to my third pick is Sakura, another fan favorite. I can't tell you how many people have been commenting on my video saying, where's Sakura? Why isn't she in this game? How could they not include her? So I think her not only being a fan favorite, but also Karine being in the game definitely helps to strengthen the argument that she will be added at some point. On to my fourth pick is Sagat. No doubt one of the most classic Street Fighter characters you can come across. He's been there since the first game. I can't imagine he wouldn't be in this game. Classic, popular character as well. Got to see the Master of Muay Thai in this game at some point, no doubt. Moving on to my fifth pick is a popular character that a lot of fans want to see back, and that is Sean. A lot of people have been requesting him, and the fact that Laura is actually his sister, I gotta figure that Sean is going to be in this game as well. Do like a family reunion type of thing, and have 2 Masudas in this game would really be something awesome to see. Now moving on to my sixth pick is Q, another really highly requested character that fans want to see make a comeback. And I think Q's a really good choice as well, because there's little we know about him. I think there's a good way they can flesh out a story, and I really do think he deserves a comeback. And I actually remember seeing interviews saying he was discussed and he did get a lot of votes on the poll that the team conducted a couple months back, so maybe they are indeed considering him and we could finally see the return of Q. It would just be awesome. Moving on to my next pick with E Honda. Now, he may not be the most popular or highly requested character to return, but I am banking on both Blanka and Sagat to return, as well as Guile and Balrog, and I would love to see all 12 of the classic characters from Street Fighter 2 return in this game, and you need E Honda to do that, so that's why he's on this list as well. My next pick is for Crimson Viper, and I think besides Juri, another character from Street Fighter 4 will be included that was introduced in that game, and I think Crimson Viper is probably next up on the list, and I think there's a lot they could do with her as well, and how her story will play in Street Fighter 5 story as well. That would be pretty cool and exciting to see. My next pick is for Oro, another character that a lot of fans want to see return from the Street Fighter 3 era, and I've always loved his backstory. He's this old hermit looking for someone to inherit his fighting style, and He's just like this crazy character that looks weird, but he fights with one arm behind his back because he doesn't want to accidentally kill his opponent. I've always loved his story, and I think he really does deserve a comeback as well. And then for my last pick, I had a tie. For my 10th and final pick, one character I would choose and would love to see is Mike Haggar from Final Fight. I mean, we've seen Cody and Guy, Poison and Yugo, Sodom and Rolento, but never Mike Haggar. So what's the deal with that? Do they just not want to add him in a Street Fighter game because they want to keep him strictly for Final Fight? But I would love to see him in a Street Fighter game, and I think his time is due. I mean, he's been like background character, he's made cameos, but he needs to be a full-fledged fighter. So let the Mayor of Manhattan finally appear in a Street Fighter game. And by the way, we do have that New York City base stage, which looks to be modeled after Metro City, where he is the mayor. So that'd be really cool to see him in the game. But if he wasn't included, the character I would choose for my 10th spot would be Sodom. And you guys are probably saying to yourselves, why in the world would you choose Sodom when you can have any other character in the game that you want? Well, the reason I picked him is because he was one of my favorite characters to use in the original Street Fighter Alpha, and not to mention he's the only character left from that game to not be playable in either Street Fighter 4 or the upcoming Street Fighter 5. And I think he does deserve a comeback as well. So if Mike Haggar really doesn't get in, Sodom would be my 10th choice. But remember, these are only my picks. You guys can choose any character you want to be in, and let me know in the comments who you would like to see in the game. And by the way, just because I did not mention a character that you want to see does not mean I hate them. I just wanted to narrow it down to 10, and those are my 10 choices. And yet again, I also am hoping to see some other new characters as well, besides just Rashid, Laura, Necalli, and either Zen or Fan or whatever the heck his name is going to be. We'll find out sooner or later. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed my picks for DLC as well as my predictions for the silhouettes. Be sure to tell me what you guys think in the comments about the silhouettes and my picks and who you want to see in Street Fighter V. But anyway, guys, that is the video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. And like always, for all the latest fighting game news and speculation, be sure to subscribe to my channel and follow me on Twitter. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys soon with a brand new video.